Gary Cooper. Names: the 7 gay actors. He hates most dated in secret with him, born in 1901 in Montana. Gary Cooper grew up in a distinguished family with deep ties to the American West. His childhood experiences as a cowboy profoundly shaped his cinematic persona, embodying rugged individualism and quiet strength. Cooper's journey to Hollywood began in the silent film era, where he transitioned successfully into talkies, quickly gaining attention for his naturalistic style. His breakthrough roles in The Winning of Barbara Worth, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, and Sergeant York solidified his star status. But it was his iconic performance in High Noon that earned him 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor, cementing his legacy as one of cinema's great leading men. Despite his public success, Cooper's personal life was marked by turbulence. He married Veronica Rocky Balfe and had a daughter, Maria. Yet his relationships were complicated by numerous affairs, most notably with actress Patricia Neal. These affairs led to years of marital strain and separation, revealing a stark contrast between his on-screen integrity and private struggles. The core of the piece, an alleged posthumous memoir draft discovered after his death, reveals Cooper naming 7 gay actors he secretly dated, but eventually grew to resent. Gary Cooper's rift with Grant. Following the exploration of Gary Cooper's complex personal life, one of the most intense and private relationships he had was with fellow Hollywood legend Cary Grant. Their romantic involvement, though passionate and intense, ended abruptly, leaving a lasting impact on Cooper's emotional world. Cooper and Grant were rumored to have shared a secret romantic relationship during the height of their careers, an era when Hollywood's strict moral codes forced many actors to conceal their true identities. What began as a deep connection quickly turned complicated as Grant, known for his charm and wit, reportedly pulled away suddenly. Cooper later described feeling profoundly betrayed, as if he had been played or deceived. This sense of being misled was not just personal heartbreak, but also a blow to his trust in those closest to him. The abrupt end of their relationship left Cooper struggling with feelings of anger and resentment in an industry already rife with gossip and secrecy. Cooper's trust had been broken by someone he admired and cared for deeply. Although both men maintained public facades of friendship and professionalism, behind closed doors, their bond had fractured. This personal turmoil contributed to Cooper's guarded demeanor and distrust of Hollywood's social scene. It also influenced his views on intimacy and relationships, making him cautious and private in his personal affairs thereafter. Despite the pain, Cooper continued to channel his emotions into his work, delivering performances that reflected a depth of feeling shaped by his life experiences. The story of Cooper and Grant's relationship offers a poignant look into the hidden struggles faced by many stars of that era, whose public images masked complex private realities. It highlights how love, trust, and betrayal played out behind the scenes in Hollywood's golden age, shaping not only careers but also personal destinies. Gary Cooper's rift with Hudson. Following the complex and private relationships that marked Gary Cooper's personal life, one particularly fraught connection was with fellow Hollywood actor Rock Hudson. Their relationship, once whispered about behind studio doors, was marked by deep emotional conflict and lingering resentment on Cooper's part. Cooper and Hudson's relationship reportedly began as a close romantic involvement during an era when homosexuality was strictly taboo in Hollywood. Despite their affection, Cooper felt increasingly used and manipulated by Hudson, whose career was heavily guarded by studio executives keen on maintaining a carefully crafted public image. Cooper perceived Hudson's secrecy not as prudence, but as cowardice, believing that Hudson's unwillingness to be open about his true self was a betrayal not only of their relationship, but also of personal integrity. This sense of betrayal cut deeply. Cooper, known for his straightforwardness and strong moral compass, felt hurt that Hudson concealed their bond to protect his career at the expense of honesty and respect. The emotional toll led Cooper to harbor resentment, not just over the secrecy, but also the feeling that he had been exploited in a relationship that was far from equal. Though publicly, both maintained professionalism and civility. Behind closed doors, the rift remained unresolved. Cooper's disdain was fueled by a belief that Hudson's secretiveness weakened their connection and that it epitomized the challenges faced by many actors forced to hide their true identities in a judgmental industry. This fractured relationship profoundly affected Cooper's approach to trust and intimacy. It underscored the painful realities of leading a double life in Hollywood's golden age, where fame often demanded personal sacrifice. Ultimately, Cooper's experience with Hudson is a poignant example of how love, secrecy, and survival intersected in the lives of many stars, shaping their legacies both on and off screen. Gary Cooper's rift with Scott. Following the intricate tales of Gary Cooper's private relationships, one particularly fraught connection was with fellow actor Randolph Scott. Their secret romantic involvement, which flourished away from the public eye, was eventually shattered by jealousy, professional rivalry, and the fierce competition for roles and attention that defined Hollywood's golden era. Cooper and Scott shared a deep bond during a time when both men were major stars, often cast in similar roles, especially within the Western genre. Their personal relationship was complicated by overlapping ambitions and the constant pressure to maintain star status in an industry where favoritism and studio politics played a significant role. As their careers progressed, tensions arose over casting decisions, with both vying for the spotlight. This competition spilled over into their private lives, creating friction and mistrust. Jealousy became a key factor in the unraveling of their relationship. Cooper reportedly felt overshadowed by Scott's rising popularity and growing fan base, while Scott resented Cooper's established position and influence. The struggle for attention was not limited to their professional lives, but extended into their intimate relationship, breeding insecurity and conflict. The volatile mix of personal emotions and professional rivalry ultimately led to the breakdown of their romance. Despite the deep affection they once shared, Cooper and Scott could not reconcile their ambitions and jealousy. Their story highlights the complex intersection of love, competition, and survival in a Hollywood environment that demanded both public perfection and private sacrifice. Although they maintained a professional facade in public, the scars from their fractured relationship lingered. Cooper's resentment toward Scott reflected broader themes of mistrust and vulnerability among actors who lived double lives during an era of strict moral scrutiny. This turbulent chapter in Cooper's life underscores the challenges faced by many actors who sought love and companionship amid the intense pressures of fame, career competition, and societal expectations. It is a poignant example of how personal and professional worlds collided, shaping the emotional landscape behind the glamour of classic Hollywood. Gary Cooper's rift with Perkins, continuing the exploration of Gary Cooper's complex private life. One particularly painful relationship was with actor Anthony Perkins. Their secret romance, veiled by the discretion demanded of Hollywood stars in the mid-20th century, left Cooper with feelings of deep emotional betrayal and resentment. Cooper entered into the relationship with Perkins at a time when both men struggled with their private identities amidst an industry that forced secrecy. Initially, Cooper saw Perkins as a source of emotional support, a safe harbor in the tumultuous world of fame. However, over time, Cooper began to feel used, as though he was little more than a emotional crutch for Perkins during difficult periods in Perkins's own life. The imbalance in their relationship was profound. While Cooper sought genuine companionship and trust, Perkins reportedly leaned heavily on him for emotional stability without fully reciprocating the support. When Cooper realized this dynamic, he felt abandoned and exploited, leading to a deep sense of hurt. The secrecy and societal pressures compounded these feelings, making it difficult for Cooper to confront the situation openly. This emotional fallout left a lasting impact on Cooper's view of relationships and trust. He became more guarded and wary of intimacy, especially with those who were unwilling or unable to engage in honest, balanced partnerships. Despite the pain, Cooper channeled his emotions into his acting, allowing him to portray vulnerability and strength with compelling authenticity. The story of Cooper and Perkins is a poignant reminder of the hidden struggles faced by many stars who lived dual lives. It reflects the complexities of love, dependence, and emotional survival within the rigid confines of Hollywood's golden era. Gary Cooper's Rift with Clif, continuing the examination of Gary Cooper's deeply complex personal relationships. One of the most emotionally charged and difficult was with Montgomery Clift. Their secret romance was marked by a powerful connection, but also mirrored profound inner struggles and conflicting emotions that ultimately led to bitterness and resentment on Cooper's part. Cooper and Clift shared an intense bond that transcended the usual Hollywood affair. Both men were known for their vulnerability beneath the surface of stardom, which created a rare and intimate understanding between them. However, this connection was also fraught with tension, as their personal demons and insecurities played out behind the facade of glamour. Montgomery Clift, famously tortured by his own identity and the pressures of fame, was often emotionally volatile. This volatility clashed with Cooper's more stoic and controlled nature. While Cooper sought stability and trust, Clift's inner turmoil sometimes manifested in erratic behavior, leaving Cooper feeling unsettled and emotionally drained. The relationship also reflected larger conflicts within Cooper himself, between desire, societal expectations, and his own personal values. This inner battle led to a growing sense of frustration and alienation. Cooper's resentment was less about Clift as a person and more about the painful emotional mirror their relationship held up. Despite their affection, the intensity of their connection ultimately became a source of pain. The unresolved tensions, fears, and disappointments created a wedge between them, making it difficult to sustain a healthy partnership. The bitterness that followed was a byproduct of the deep emotional investment and the inability to reconcile their conflicting needs and identities. Their story exemplifies the profound challenges faced by many stars in Hollywood's golden age who were forced to hide their true selves while grappling with complex inner lives. It highlights how love, pain, and personal struggle can coexist in complicated relationships, shaping both private lives and public legacies. Gary Cooper's Bitterness Toward Hunter, continuing the deep dive into Gary Cooper's complex private life. One of his most troubled relationships was with actor Tab Hunter. Their brief romance, shrouded in secrecy due to the era's stigma surrounding homosexuality, was ultimately marked by feelings of exploitation and mistrust, particularly from Cooper's perspective. The relationship between Cooper and Hunter began at a time when both men were navigating the pressures of Hollywood's rigid moral expectations. While their connection started with mutual attraction and companionship, Cooper quickly sensed that Hunter's intentions were more self-serving than genuine. Cooper felt that Hunter was primarily interested in the benefits of association with a seasoned star rather than building an authentic emotional bond. This perceived opportunism bred resentment in Cooper. He viewed the relationship not as a partnership of equals, but rather as a one-sided affair where he was used for status and protection. The short duration of their romance and Hunter's apparent prioritization of his own career advancement left Cooper feeling betrayed and discarded. Moreover, Cooper's disappointment was compounded by the need for secrecy and pretense, which was an exhausting burden on both men. Their inability to openly express their relationship or develop it naturally contributed to an emotional disconnect that deepened Cooper's bitterness. Despite the public images of friendship and camaraderie they maintained, privately, the relationship was strained and fraught with unresolved tensions. Cooper's disdain for Hunter was not just about personal hurt, but also reflected his frustration with the broader constraints placed on LGBTQ+ individuals in Hollywood at the time. The Cooper-Hunter relationship exemplifies how power dynamics, societal pressure, and personal ambitions intersected in Hollywood's hidden queer histories. It is a stark reminder of the emotional costs many actors paid to protect their careers and reputations, often at the expense of genuine human connection. Gary Cooper's brief. James Dean, building on the intricate web of Gary Cooper's secret relationships, one of the most intense yet brief was with the young and rebellious James Dean. Their romance, though passionate, was marked by volatility and untimely tragedy, leaving Cooper with lingering anger and unresolved emotions. The relationship between Cooper and Dean ignited quickly, fueled by a shared intensity and Dean's defiant spirit that contrasted with Cooper's more reserved nature. Dean represented a new generation, wild, fearless, and deeply troubled, captivating Cooper both emotionally and intellectually. Their bond, while brief, was powerful, a collision of old Hollywood tradition and youthful rebellion. However, this fiery connection was abruptly severed by Dean's tragic death at the age of 24 in a car accident. For Cooper, Dean's early demise was devastating not only personally, but because it abruptly ended any chance for closure or clarity in their relationship. The sudden loss left Cooper grappling with a mix of grief, frustration, and regret, emotions compounded by the inability to resolve their complicated history. Cooper's resentment was deeply tied to this unfinished chapter. The passion and potential of their relationship had been cut short, leaving Cooper feeling robbed of the opportunity to fully understand or reconcile the intensity they once shared. Moreover, Dean's death symbolized the broader fragility of life and love behind Hollywood's glamorous facade. This unresolved emotional turmoil influenced Cooper's later views on relationships, making him more cautious and reflective. Their story stands as a testament to the fleeting nature of passion and the lasting impact of loss, especially when intertwined with the pressures and secrecy of Hollywood's golden age. Gary Cooper's lasting Hollywood legacy. Following the reflection on Cooper's turbulent personal life, it is important to recognize the profound legacy he left on American cinema. Gary Cooper was more than just a leading man. He was the embodiment of integrity, strength, and understated heroism on screen. His performances in classics such as High Noon, Sergeant York, and The Pride of the Yankees defined the archetype of the American hero, resilient, honest, and quietly courageous. Cooper's naturalistic acting style influenced generations of actors, steering Hollywood away from overly theatrical performances to more authentic portrayals. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor and earned widespread critical acclaim, yet remained humble throughout his career. Beyond awards and accolades, Cooper's legacy lies in the timelessness of his characters and the moral values they represented. He connected deeply with audiences by portraying characters who faced adversity with dignity and resolve. His influence extends beyond film into the cultural fabric of America, symbolizing the ideals many aspired to during the mid-20th century. Gary Cooper's legacy continues to inspire actors and filmmakers alike, reminding us that true greatness in cinema comes from authenticity, courage, and heart. Gary Cooper's life lessons. Building on Gary Cooper's enduring legacy, his life offers valuable lessons about the complex nature of fame, love, and personal integrity. Despite being an iconic figure of Hollywood's golden age, Cooper's story reveals that public success often masks private struggles. One major lesson is the importance of balancing authenticity with the demands of fame. Cooper's career thrived because of his genuine, understated acting style, which connected deeply with audiences. Yet, his personal life shows the challenges many face in maintaining true identity amid societal pressures and expectations. Another important takeaway is resilience. Cooper navigated a career spanning silent films to talkies, transitioning through changing Hollywood landscapes while maintaining professionalism and dignity. His ability to adapt and persevere through both personal and professional hardships underscores the value of determination. Cooper's private relationships, marked by secrecy and complexity, highlight the emotional costs of living a double life, especially during an era intolerant of certain identities. His experiences remind us of the human need for connection and the pain that secrecy can bring. Ultimately, Gary Cooper's story teaches us about the power of vulnerability and strength. His life encourages embracing one's true self while navigating the external world's challenges, illustrating that true greatness lies in honesty, resilience, and compassion. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe for more.